Hey, what's going on everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Star Wars Coffee, where in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at more information on Supreme Leader Snoke's origins. Finally, that's today here on Star Wars Coffee. Greetings, Exalted Ones. Greetings to all you Jedi, Padawans, and younglings out there. This is Star Wars Coffee, covering everything you need to know about the latest developments, news, and leaks in Star Wars, and as always, giving you my analysis. Supreme Leader Snoke, one of the most speculated characters of the sequel trilogy. If you guys have been following the channel for a while, you can recall all the way back to the time of in between The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi arriving, when this channel heavily covered a lot of who Supreme Leader Snoke was, what his endgame was, and things of that nature. Now, it seems that throughout this entire time, we've been getting one simple answer for Snoke, up until The Rise of Skywalker, and that was Snoke's origins are of the unknown regions, and that's all we got. All we would end up getting is just tidbits more here and there, and with The Rise of Skywalker, we finally got the information that Palpatine created Snoke. And so with this being the case, we've finally gotten some even more in-depth information about the Supreme Leader from a new book entitled The Star Wars Book, Expand Your Knowledge of a Galaxy Far, Far Away. Some of that book has already leaked, and one of those is Supreme Leader Snoke. So Snoke is a artificial genetic strandcast, homeworld of Exegol. Affiliation is a proxy with the Sith, the First Order. His abilities include Force Perception, Telekinesis, and Force Lightning. His aim was galactic conquest, and his status report was slain by Kylo Ren. And here's what it lists for him. So here's where this nice new information comes from. For much of its history, the First Order lurks in the shadowy edges of the unknown regions. Its leader is a towering humanoid with a broken build, a scarred being known only as Snoke. Through a Force user of impressive power, he denies any Sith lineage. In fact, only scant details exist regarding his origins. It's possible Snoke himself may not know his true nature. Snoke is a strandcast, an artificial genetic construct concocted by the resurrected Darth Sidious to be his proxy in power. Snoke has free will, but his actions and goals are still orchestrated by Sidious. Snoke senses the coming of Rey as an awakening in the Force. He is disappointed by First Order leader Kylo Ren's inability to stop her. He goads Ren, all to push the darkness in him. Snoke, who is ordinarily extremely cognizant of Ren's thoughts and motives, doesn't foresee that Ren will outmaneuver him. Through Snoke, Sidious sidesteps the tradition of a dark side apprentice, slaying his master to ascend, which happens when Kylo Ren betrays Snoke and slices him in two. Ren then assumes the mantle of Supreme Leader of the First Order. Ren examines of Snoke's past and turns up more mysteries and dead ends. Ren fully expects the dark voice that he has heard in his head for years to disappear once Snoke dies, but it persists. This points to someone manipulating Snoke, and Ren's search for answers uncovers the presence of the Emperor, who was believed deceased on Exegol. There, in a laboratory deep in a Sith sanctuary, are Snoke bodies resting in a nutrient fluid. The Emperor Palpatine holds many genetic copies of Supreme Leader Snoke in a vat. Now, there was another term that I'm sure some of you are wondering about, and that is strandcast. A strandcast was a type of bioengineered living entity. So 9 years after the Battle of Yavin, Din Djarin and Kuiil discussed the biological origins of the child. Din Djarin stated that the infant could be a strandcast, but Kuiil replied saying it might not have been engineered as he used to work in the gene farms. The son, quote unquote, of Dark Lord of the Sith Darth Sidious was also a strandcast created by the Sith Eternal. This being lacked of Force sensitivity of his father, but was able to conceive a Force-sensitive child. Snoke was another strandcast created by Sidious. He served as a proxy ruler of the First Order, while the Sith Lord regained his power on Exegol, where Snoke and several other genetic copies of Snoke himself were created. Although he possessed free will, Snoke's actions were orchestrated by his master. So that is essentially all the canon information we have of what a strandcast was. And so I mentioned that specifically because it ties in with The Mandalorian, which, if you guys are aware of my theory about Dave Filoni and Disney Star Wars, they seed everything extremely well together. And so talking about having Din Djarin and Kuiil talking about the fact that he could be a strandcast, is just a nice tip of the cap to the rest of the continuity. So I just thought that was an extremely interesting point as well. So we got actually some pretty decent summary and some pretty good little bits of information about Snoke. So while everybody, if you can recall, was thinking that Snoke was Darth Plagueis, which I think would have been an excellent thing to do, second best thing, I guess, is to do this Palpatine thing. So we got that information about Snoke's unknown origins. We finally figured it out through The Rise of Skywalker that his unknown origins are just clone, which is kind of a letdown in a sense, given the fact that they were building this character up and leaving him so much in mischief. But you can kind of piece it together and make sense that maybe that's where JJ was going to go anyway. But at least we finally have, something other than the unknown regions. So I just wanted to share that new bits of information with you guys about Snoke. It's very interesting to me that it mentions that Snoke had free will, but his actions and goals are still orchestrated by Sidious. So what's interesting is I would like to know a little bit more about how that works. How is it that Snoke is able to have free will if Palpatine is still pulling the puppet strings behind the scenes? If Snoke is having free will and he's unaware of Palpatine, how in the world is he still being orchestrated? However, I'm just happy to know that that wasn't one of those things where Palpatine just was off of his game in the sense and was allowing Snoke to be slain, and that it really was just one of Snoke's sidesteps and misfortunes in his quest for conquest of the galactic universe. Let me know what you guys think about all of this information in the comments section down below. What do you think specifically about the term of the Strandcast with its implications of the Mandalorian and the child as well? Thank you guys for watching, and remember, at the time of this, that was when Palpatine was still, in theory, around via this proxy. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section down below. Thank you guys for watching. May God bless you, and the Force be with you always. If you enjoyed this episode, and frankly, even if you didn't, don't forget to subscribe.
Do it.
And if you want to help spread the word, please give this video a thumbs up and tell your friends to subscribe. Please check out the official Star Wars Coffee merchandise, and don't forget to check out all of the content playlists on this channel, including The Rise of Skywalker, The Mandalorian, and much more.